Hey everyone, it's Jake Clark, John Schneider, and Eric Faldy today on the Fargo 3D Printing podcast. Going to talk about a couple different things today. We're going to talk about 3D printing pens. We're going to talk about the dog that got its legs 3D printed, and then we're going to talk about, what was the last thing? Printed circuit boards, PCBs. Yeah. So let's just dive into the printing pen. So which one do you got pulled up there, John?
Okay, so I'm very familiar with the 3Doodler. I was one of the first people, well, not first person to back it, but I backed it when it was on Kickstarter.
That was February last year.
Gosh, I think it's been even longer.
I looked at. I think it was 2013.
I think it was
shipped
in
like March or something.
Yeah.
I was researching a little bit earlier.
So I think I received it. No, I received it back when I was still doing Meld Workshop before we had gone full on into Fargo 3D printing.
Yeah, you received it like.
So I mean, it's been so the 3Doodler I think was a Kickstarter that started about 2 years ago. So really, what this thing is, it's like a really precise hot glue gun that instead of having it on a gantry like 3D printers are, you are holding it in your hand. So it's a $99 device. It looks like a sex toy. I mean, let's not beat around the bush here.
That's another podcast, John.
Well,
no, but I mean,
blow pens. It kind of like this big weird.
Yeah, it's
what blow pen.
Oh
it
yeah,
it was like a little aerosol kind of. You blew in it and it would like spray paint kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I remember seeing those infomercials.
I'm gonna break the fourth wall and make sure this is recording.
Oh, yeah. So
I'm really sure it is.
So anyway,
I can see it. I think it is. Yeah, I see the red dot.
I mean,
well, turn it back around so I can see it.
So pretty much.
I want to make sure I can see myself.
So pretty much what this is, it's a big giant pen that you hold in your hand. It's I don't know. I'd say it's maybe about.
It's 2 inches in diameter because they make a very strong point in the video.
It looks a lot
it's
bigger.
2 inches.
It looks pretty big.
Oh, so we're talking about the 3Doodler though. We're not talking about this yet.
Sorry.
Yeah, so still talking about the 3Doodler. So
that one's pretty big.
So the 3Doodler, it's more petite. So it basically takes a stick of either PLA or ABS plastic, and then it has a drive mechanism which pushes it through a heated nozzle, and so you draw in the air in 3D. So the thing is, you need to be very careful how you're doing this, because if you move it away, so you have to start on a table or like a paper plate or something. You start drawing, you get it set, it melts to the paper plate, and then you draw it up. And you need to be careful not to pull too fast, or else you're going to break that connection. But if you pull it too slowly, okay, now it's just kind of becoming a blob of plastic. How people find this a fun thing to use, I don't know. But then again, I don't like drawing in general, so maybe it's just maybe it's just that part of me that I don't get.
The guy I saw the video in December of last year, so it was about a year ago. I saw a video of a guy reviewing it. That'd been about 6 months into it, kind of released. But he was making an Iron Man mask, and he said it was, it's going to look like I 3Doodled it. It's not going to look that good.
Yeah.
Well, I think it could be used more for fixing prints per se. Like let's say you have
or like welding, or it's almost like plastic,
like
plastic welding. I mean, and I've used it for that before, where you have like two different. Let's say you're doing a house model, you have two different levels. You want to have them attached. So I just drew a bead around the outer perimeter of the two pieces. It wasn't very clean. It wasn't all that attractive, but it did work. So this other one that is out now, or I think it's still in the Kickstarter, Indiegogo stage. It's called
Kickstarter.
Same difference.
Whatever.
It's called the Polyaz Q1. So this is there've been a few other 3D printing pens, but they've all had the same underlying technology. It has a stick of plastic, uses heat to melt it. This one, let's just read this here. It says
it uses a liquid polymer.
It's the first photoactive resin-based 3D printing pen which uses Nobel Prize-winning blue light LED technology to cure colored resins and allow for 3D drawing. So I actually haven't seen this thing in action yet. Okay, so I'm gonna play the video.
I've seen it. It's pretty neat. I mean,
okay, so you might hear some of this in the background. So we have a lady with a wheel, and it looks kind of cool. Like it draws a much thicker bead of material. I mean, we're talking, instead of having it be a thin little maybe 3mm bead, it's got to be drawing at least a 2 to 3mm bead of material.
Yeah, it's not small by any means.
Other 3D printing pens on
So
the market,
okay, yep.
Poly-S utilizes light curing technology.
I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, because you can see that it's liquid as it's coming out of the nozzle, and it's, you know, it's using the Nobel Prize winning blue light LEDs, whatever.
Sounds like Billy Mays.
Billy Mays here
Blue to green
with another exciting technology.
This is the part I love. It's safe as they're mixing the resin chemicals.
Yeah, as they're in a white room or a clean room.
I'm gonna get you a hat like that.
It looks
I mean,
like a chef's hat.
it is pretty interesting though. I mean,
Okay, you're skipping over that.
I am skipping
The
over
big thing
stuff.
with the other one was that the guy was talking about it had this little guard on it, and it's just because
like a little silicone guard.
so you wouldn't burn yourself.
Well,
On
and this
it, but
one-
it would cause problems with clogging and like being able to see where the nozzle tip was, so you couldn't get accuracy.
Well, this one. So let's say you're extruding out. This one, if you look at it, supposedly the light goes out, so you don't blind yourself. And
I thought it was just like a safe light, so it wouldn't hurt your eyes no matter what.
I don't know. They still have that.
What's
as
an
a
LED
safety
light?
I
mean,
didn't read the entire article. You can find it on 3dprintingindustry.com.
Yes,
That's where a lot of our ideas came from today. But
I don't even know what it's. There's a whole bunch of forward slash.
Well, and it looks like, so the price point. What's the price point?
79,
for this?
ranging from 79 to 199 for the platinum package. 99,
I think those are
almost
for,
$1,000 for a multi-order package.
those are just the perks or whatever.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So I don't know how much it's actually going to cost because that's just what it says on there.
My bad.
So I'm guessing it's going to sell around
200?
that. I'm guessing it's going to go around the $100 price point.
Yeah,
I mean,
$100 to
depending on
$200.
how much resin and features you have. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when you're comparing it to something like the 3Doodler, I mean, I think the 3Doodler is only going to have another year or two left of life because, I mean, there's something like this. Now, the one thing this won't do is if you have a 3D printed model and you're trying to bind two pieces together, it's not going to.
It's
you know,
cured
'cause
already.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to hold
Yeah,
stuff
the
together
other
as
one,
well.
the 3Doodler does ABS and PLA. As far as I know, I don't know if it does anymore, but it does those two at least. And then it said that I don't know. I forgot. I lost my train of thought.
I don't know, but I mean, it actually uses ink.
Oh, they even have a temperature changing ink and a glow in the dark ink.
That's cool.
That's actually really cool.
So
All right. I mean, I think it's neat. It's a hell of a lot more promising than the other 3D printed pens. Now here's the thing. I still don't consider this to be a 3D printing pen. When you think of a 3D printer, part of the whole point of a 3D printer is that you take a design file, you're able to feed it in there, and it spits out the model that you designed. Here, you're manually doing stuff.
You're extruding
they're using
something.
you're using the so it's the 3D like extrusion pen, but that the extruder pen doesn't have quite the ring to it that 3D printing pen does.
No, I think what I read I just read the wiki just to see like when it came out. It didn't even say that really. I mean, it just talked about the Kickstarter, but it talked about.
I mean, the actual end use application.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see this more in your people that are good at using
It's kind of a crafty thing.
Yeah,
It's
kind of a
going to be more like
art.
It's
Yeah,
sold at
like
Michael's.
an art class.
The Doodler is at
Yeah,
Michael's. You can get it there.
It's not for
$60
me because I can't paint for I'm not an artsy person, so I can't paint or any of that.
No,
but I mean,
you are not.
I can draw stick figures and poor stick figures at that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's where this is going to fit into the marketplace. I mean, it's not going to be anything too practical yet. Maybe some of the resins might be more practical, but that's kind of where it's
Definitely fun to play with because what I was reading, it was like this is like a hot glue gun, and it really is. Like it's like
3Doodler is, yeah.
FDM is like a hot glue gun that's really precise. This is just like a hot glue gun, pretty much.
Rebadged hot glue gun
Right.
is
Well,
the
and I
3D
mean, and for the price point, it's it's an expensive toy. I don't think it's nearly as useful as a 3D printer, but
no, it's not.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
about
because
a tenth of the price or even less. Like, but you're not getting any sort of quality really.
yeah, your quality is in
You
your
can make
hand.
cool looking stuff, but it's not going to look like a 3D printed object. It'll look like some stringy kind of, crafty thing.
right.
So this has kind of been a big thing on the news. I know a lot of my friends on Facebook that don't usually talk about 3D printing was actually talking about this next thing, is the 3D printed paws giving Derby new leash on life.
The writers had a lot of fun.
I didn't see that one, but that's pretty good.
It's actually pretty neat. What happens is the dog was, I don't know if it was born without.
It was handy, like it was born. It's deformity. It looked like polio, kind of. Just the front paws were deformed, kind of undersized.
Yeah, and so anyway, the dog doesn't have fully developed front paws, and so it wasn't able to move around naturally. They actually had to put it on a cart kind of deal, and it just couldn't run right. That sounds bad, but it just couldn't run like a natural dog could. Where here they 3D printed something on the 3D Systems ProJet 5500X. It's a multi-material printer, and they made new paws for it. And I mean, the dog looks happy.
Yeah, I read the article. They said that they scanned the dog, and just the way they wrote it, it's like this guy, he got this dog, and he just so happened to work at this big 3D printing place. So that worked out really well for the dog.
Well, so I mean, I kind of wonder this about a lot of these 3D printing stories. How the heck? I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a good PR thing for 3D Systems, but I mean, how do these companies find such an awesome story? For something like this.
Too?
Yeah, it's unknown.
I left mine in my desk.
No, my question was, they said they scanned it. It's like, how did they clean up that?
Well, there's Geomagic,
okay.
Which you can clean up.
Because it's all the fur. That's what I was saying.
Well, and I think it's more just getting the general shape of the dog's front,
I don't think they want
legs.
to shave that poor dog's little
legs.
Well,
no. I mean, and something like this, it's just once you have the general shape. Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing.
It wouldn't be that hard, I guess, now that I sit and think about it.
Well, and the dog's adopted. Keep that in mind, from Peace and Paws Dog Rescue. So that's a good thing. Yeah, using Geomagic software in the company's ProJet 5500X.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, now I understand. Okay, so
they use the Capture 3D scanner, which is about a $30,000.
Well, okay, so the person at 3D Systems, so this 3D Systems director of ColorJet Printing Product Management, Tara Anderson, she actually adopted this dog from the dog rescue. So that's a good, that connection makes sense. Okay.
But yeah, so they used a Capture 3D scanner, meant for industrial scanning, but they used it on the dog. How they're able to print the prosthetic and use the Geomagic software to clean it up, the 5500X to print it, and dog can run.
Well, the dog certainly looks happy.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, it's a dog. I can't imagine it was unhappy ever.
Couldn't run before.
Well, I mean, it looks like a very...
Well, if you watch the video, so I'm going to watch the video here a little bit. I'm going to mute this so that nobody has to hear this. But I mean, if you watch the YouTube video from the beginning, it does. It has to use this big bulky wheel system thing.
They said that was to keep it from getting caught on stuff.
Yeah,
because it's just like the only joint that the dog is using is the shoulder joint. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it has a kind of like it looks like a rocking chair leg.
Yeah, it looks like a miniature wheelchair, and it just doesn't. It just didn't look comfortable for the dog, where this is more of a natural, more
I thought you were talking about this one. I was like, I don't know which one you're
talking
about.
Oh, no, I'm talking about... Okay. I'm looking at
the little carriage that it would have been in with the wheels.
Yeah, that looked very uncomfortable.
I couldn't quite catch what you were getting to.
No, the wheeled thing looked very uncomfortable.
Because this one allows the dog to kind of get that natural motion rather than just kind of being stable and kind of pushing something.
Yeah, and then pushing on a metal bar to run. I mean, it's... And they also used a 3D pen.
Did they?
Mm-hmm. The touch haptic mouse.
Oh, that's like that mouse thing, basically, where
you
didn't
for doing sculpting. I thought you meant like the Doodler. So
no.
It's like a 3D space mouse.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is an actual useful thing.
Yeah, thanks. Is on my Christmas.
Is that the one that's attached to like this big weird thing?
Yeah. Okay. It's got like all these different armatures, so it can move throughout space. It's got haptic feedback, so like if you're sculpting something, it actually feels like you're sculpting something.
That's cool. Yeah. So I've seen that a lot when they're like talking about amputee making prosthetics. You kind of see them pull that weird, video clip up. How much does that sort of thing cost? I have to ask.
The what?
The mouse.
I don't know.
Or the pen.
I don't know. I'll look.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's probably around the $1,000 to $1,500 price point, if I'm guessing.
I just know most of my friends that do, 3D sculpting end up using, a tablet or just a mouse.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know. That's just how most people learn. Like if you're a 3D modeler, you're not animation. I'm not talking CAD or whatever.
Right.
You're not making that kind of crazy money usually.
I think that's how I spell it. I can't spell it very well.
Should come up.
Well, you need to search specifically for the Geomagic one because otherwise, like there's a lot of haptic mice out there. Like there was one, I think it was the Falcon one, something like that. It was developed for PC gaming. The thing is,
what game would you use?
No one ever used the SDK well enough. I mean, like that was just
there's no one developing.
It was kind of like you maybe had a dozen games that supported it, and a lot of them were indie games.
Oh, okay, I was thinking like the only ones I can think of are like Space Battle.
Nothing too big budget.
It says contact sales, so expensive. I'm guessing probably.
If you don't see a price, you can't afford.
Probably $5,000 to $10,000. I'm guessing just for that.
I can't imagine it's that much.
I could see the $5,000 range, honestly. And if anybody knows, please throw it down in the comments. But
or if you have one,
yeah, let us know.
I'd love to hear if anyone has one and if they're using it and how you like it or don't like it. Yep. So okay, I mean,
yeah, I mean that's one thing. I'm trying to get to. We're going to talk about NASA here in a minute, but NASA. So let's dive in a little bit into the printed circuit board. So I used to work for a wastewater controls company, and we would design PCB boards in a software called Free PCB. I think you can download it. It's a great little software if you want to just do some piddly small PCB boards. But if you want to do industry stuff, it's kind of more on the very basic side of things. But anyway, we were using that, and what we were finding out is instead of designing the PCB board in Free PCB or whatever, and then getting it ordered, getting it shipped in, plus the cost of doing that was like $50 minimum. What we did was I was able to export the DXF data, bring it into AutoCAD, extrude it, or into Inventor, extrude it out, and actually have a PCB board that I could 3D print on the Rep 2 at the time, and actually test with the different components. I used a drill, and I was able to drill out the different holes. I could set the components in there. In some cases, I actually super glued them in place so that I could actually go to the cabinet that I was working on and actually install it into the cabinet, see how it was going to feel, go up to the boss and be like, hey, what do you think of this? This is where it's going to roughly sit. Oh, it's going to interfere with this component. So aside from actually 3D printing your circuit boards in the realm of, making them electrically sound, just printing them in PLA or ABS to test how the PCB board and its components are going to interact with other components in a control cabinet, or any other sort of instance, is kind of a neat idea. Or at least that's what I used it in. And I mean, 3D printing circuit boards in general. Circuit boards are 3D printed in essence. They're a layering system upon layers. Now, there is in that, I don't have pulled up on mine, go back other way. There's a company. There's actually somebody that's making a 3D printer. I don't remember where it was here. I don't know.
I have no idea what you're looking for.
I don't know. I thought it was in there. I thought there was a link in there that...
I think this article talks more about a guy that wanted to have a separate power source for his heated bed on, I don't know which printer it was, but he made the board for that so he could kind of lay it out and then have his separate power source, power supply, whatever. And just he wanted separate. I don't know why he would want separate power supplies, so he could have a different one for his heated bed and then one for the extruder and whatever. But
well, it's like with 3D printing, with a lot of people.
Yeah,
it was just 3D printing community. It's you don't need to have a good reason why. No.
You just need to a lot of it's just like I did that
because I can.
Yeah. It was really messy on the bottom though. Like it's not all printed in one piece. This is just like the green part. Everything else he soldered by hand. He made it just so you could inlay all the
different components.
Yeah, I don't know the names for capacitors and whatnot.
Well, you got to turn.
I want to see. I want to see the underside of it.
It was pretty messy, but I mean, it works. It doesn't need to be seen. It's like the second picture there.
Come on, iPad.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is nasty.
That's a nasty little bead he's got there.
That's just straight up. That is straight up solder. Like just connecting everything together.
No, but I mean, so I mean, that's what I'm getting at is, you can use it to test out how different components are going to act.
This wouldn't be an end all be all. This is just like
this is like, hey, does my components
proof of
fit on here, or am I in the right area so you don't spend money?
But it looks like it works, and he had to. This was so he could kind of mod his 3D printer a little bit. So using 3D printing to change how your 3D printer works.
Well, think on the bottom now. If you flip that over and did like a Lulzbot with a conductive material, and you're able to Z-set it and then go off and then drill through your PCB hole to drill it into that filament, and now you have something that looks like that, but it's conductive.
I would just take a breadboard.
I mean,
no, he
made it look kind of neat.
Again, it's a because you can, because I can. I mean, and why not? It's.
Well, I don't know if a breadboard would work.
It's essentially like with the Arduino.
Why not? Is it just because of the amount of current?
I don't know.
I can't imagine that having it just soldered is really the best method either. I don't know.
It looks nice.
I mean,
like the top part anyway.
It looks neat. The top part looks really nice. I mean, the way that he has it designed. So basically, he has the you can see the indentations for where all of the different parts will be seated, and it has the through holes already figured out. I mean, that's kind of cool. It's just everything else that.
But I mean, I don't know if the breadboard was really what he was trying to go after. I think he was going after the PCB.
He wants a little solid-looking.
He needs to check out freepcb.com or whatever it's called. I mean, because now he could have just ordered. He could have designed his own PCB and ordered it.
Yeah, but
is that expensive?
Then he wouldn't have made it.
Is it expensive?
Like I said, I think there's like an MOQ of $50 or something, but you get 10, 15 within like 4 days or something like that. I don't remember.
I guess it's just I like with the. I made a car knob before. Like we've talked about it a couple times, I'm sure.
You have that sitting somewhere.
I have a mock-up.
I don't know.
But I have a couple in my car that weren't great. Those were the first run. I have one that's in there.
Well, what else did you print here?
Okay, so I've printed. Oh, these.
We'll dive into this last. But what did you?
In general, I printed like little knobs for things. But we were doing Fox and Hound. Like I printed this fox. I was trying to do like a Christmas present, like for White Elephant gift, and then someone's like, just print a white elephant. It's like, okay, what am I gonna do with this now? So I have this orange fox, and then someone said Fox and Hound. I was like, I love that movie. So I printed. It's not a hound, but it's a
black lab,
kind of low poly dog, Labrador.
That's a fat dog.
Yeah, this is the best like realistic color. I don't know if blue would have worked.
No, but I'm just saying the model itself. That's a fat dog.
Oh, kind of.
I mean, that's a fat dog.
It's a beefy dog.
It's thick. But yeah, Fox and Hound. If you're a Disney fan. I love that movie.
I don't know. What does the fox say?
It's so sad. Like, it only gets sadder as you get older. Like, when you're a kid, you don't realize quite how sad that movie is.
I've never watched it.
And you're like, oh shit.
Okay.
So, like Bambi when...
Damn.
Mother!
Then you realize what's going on. You're just like, oh, the mother is gone. Oh, okay.
Have you guys seen Milo and Otis? It's the little pug and that little orange cat.
It's been years, but yeah.
They all have British accents because whoever dubbed it was a British company. Like, oh, hello, friend.
Hello.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, but like, it's just... It doesn't stand the test of time as far as like nostalgia. Like, it's like, oh, I really liked it, but it's not a good movie.
I can't remember what
it's made in Japan, and read the Wikipedia.
See, I haven't watched.
You learn about how mistreated those animals were. It's not cool. They went through a lot of kittens for that movie. Well, there's part of the movie where the cat.
So you're saying that animals may have been harmed in the making of that film?
It definitely didn't have that disclaimer at the end where it said that. There was some controversy about that movie. It's a good movie.
I'm a Homeward Bound kind of fan.
That's a good one too. But
except I think all those characters actually died of natural causes.
Oh.
Spoiler alert to life.
Well, everyone dies. Everything dies. It's just a matter of...
I'm going to die, John?
I know, yeah. This is just some earth-shattering stuff. Unless you 3D print all your organs, Jake, and you can live forever.
Completely
take over the world.
Completely unrelated.
Everything we do every night, Pinky.
I saw the movie WALL-E in theaters. I think it was the second time I saw it. The first time I saw it, I was in Florida. And then the second time I saw it with my friend... Little kids in the movie theater, like, something happens, they don't know how to deal with it.
Oh.
Mommy, did Wally die? like, yes. No, they didn't say that, but...
yes.
Like, I'm trying to watch the movie, you're ruining it.
Now I missed the good part. I don't know if he died or not.
Robots can't die, at least not really.
Well...
There's an argument there with AI coming out, but,
Well...
Keep your kids quiet.
We could dive into the whole time travel argument, but let's not get into that.
What is that? I mean,
Like
just
the
give me
whole-
Oh gosh.
Yeah, you just...
Here we go.
Okay, maybe
Here we go.
John, you're going to have to start this one a little bit. I don't...
man.
we'll
you
do a
must
whole
know more than I
we'll do a whole podcast.
Wait, so
about this
which
later.
one are we talking about? I just heard time travel. And
We're talking about Wall-E dying.
Like, if it... No, well,
There's
yeah,
no time travel in Wall-E.
No, I don't...
So I'm curious.
Wall-E.
Quit Redditing and
No,
pay
there's
attention.
there's a photo of the Millennium Falcon with Disney CEO Bob Iger.
It's fake.
It's the Millennium
It's
Falcon.
fake.
I don't care.
It's fake.
You're fake.
Maybe.
Well, you heard it here first, people. Jake might be fake.
Oh. Anyway, so kind of last thing we're gonna cover is
Just drop time travel and
we're
talk
just
about the rest.
well, I don't.
This is still space related.
Yeah, okay,
Space
okay,
time
okay,
continuum.
fair
It's,
Well,
it's,
no,
it's a
because
weird
it-
segue, but it's a segue.
don't know what the time travel is about.
because you started talking about conspiracy theories or whatever,
Okay, not really, but
and then I thought about time travel. Sorry.
okay, we can talk about it later.
Jake, it's so distracting.
I'm sorry. This is the one that I use. Gosh. So,
Alright.
so 3D printing in space. NASA again. Who else?
What was that? The gesture?
yeah, I see.
No, it's really 3D printing in
I
space.
know.
Or low Earth orbit if we're gonna get technical.
It's really just never mind. So they made this wrench, and they actually have a whole website where there's different things like this wrench, a couple other spacecrafts like the Voyager, and they're all 3D models that you can download and 3D print.
So is it
Made by
official?
NASA.
Is it an official site?
Yeah, like it's it's an
Yeah,
official
it's
NASA.
like-
site.
It wasn't
looks-
NASA.gov. It was like NASA 3D dot something. I
I
didn't
don't know. It's on the bottom
Okay,
here.
but yeah,
I'll click on it.
it didn't
again.
look super nice. Like
because
the
it's
website.
NASA. It's NASA.
I don't know.
They're stuck in the 90s.
They made a nice looking wrench though.
They did, but they're stuck in the 90s with their internet. Well, that was awkward silence. Thank you, everybody. NASA3D.arc.nasa.gov.
Okay, it was a gov.
ARC being ARC, not
It's
ARK.
an archive.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, like, there's...
Which is still, I mean, and some
you
of
can 3D
these,
print a rock,
and some of these aren't maybe.
a crater.
You're not going to be able to 3D print some of these in good quality on an FDM style
No.
printer,
Especially
but
with the little tiny
but-
wires.
but
and antenna.
Well, hey, there's some rocks and some...
you know, if you had the right kind of 3D printer, you probably could.
I mean, they
this stuff.
have a lot of different things, like Apollo lunar module. We should try that.
The space
glove.
suits were kind of cool. They
So-
had a couple space suits.
I'll have to check this out. I mean, I saw you looking at it earlier, but
Don't check it out because you're gonna get lost in it.
Well-
Like crew lock bag. That's kind of interesting. Crew module, Friendship 7, Freedom 7, Gemini, Gantry, a helmet. I don't know what file types these are. Let's click.
Well, click on one.
There's OBJ and STL. I saw some 3DS.
I'm sure that some of the
Download
color ones are OBJ.
FBX.
Ooh, FBX. What's a
FBX.
FBX file?
FBX,
Look it up.
FBX
All right.
works with
All right, Siri,
3D Studio Max.
Fail me. What kind of file is a .fbx file? No. No.
Okay, I found this on the web.
Siri,
for what kind of
you're
files
wrong.
a fix file.
Okay, now let's try Google.
I feel like I've seen that for animation stuff.
What kind of file is a .fbx file? FBX. Oh, it's an Autodesk file.
Oh, okay.
It's a binary file format. Blender.
Oh shit.
Oh,
by the way,
Filmbox.
You can
Filmbox.
download a 3DS model of the NASA space shuttle. You can also do. I think there might be some dummy ones. Another 3DS model.
Okay.
Anyway, we're getting out of. Anyway, there's a lot of cool stuff on
The
this
wrench.
website.
Yeah,
The wrench-
Most of
the
them wouldn't
wrench-
print nice with FDM.
The wrench is the last thing, literally, because it's
Yeah.
alphabetical. But so the idea is this is the ratchet. Ours didn't work properly because we printed it on a Rep 2X, and I didn't do on.
No, you printed that on just a Rep 2.
Sorry, I was thinking. My next sentence was Rep 2X. We printed on a Rep 2, and we didn't have obviously any dissolvable supports, so we're going to try it in dissolvable supports, and I'm going to actually bump up the resolution to see if that actually works because this is.
Was that
all-
regular resolution?
Yeah, it's regular, so 200
So it's
microns.
200 micron.
I mean, plus or minus 20,000.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
plus 20,000.
It's a pretty.
Sometimes when you go
solid-looking thing, but-
sometimes when you go down to 100 microns, it gets, I don't know. Yeah, your layers are smaller, but you start losing. It gets junkier.
finicky.
Yeah, like as far as far as the overall surface finish. Yeah.
It looks really good though. It just doesn't happen to move.
No, I mean, and this blue filament. I mean, it's just, it's cool to see that they emailed this per se up to the space station and printed it.
Emailed it per se?
Well, it's
Did they not email it?
emailed is what they said.
Okay.
In
air quotes?
Yes, in air quotes, exactly like that too.
Okay.
Do you want me to show you?
No, I believe you.
There's no air in space.
In space quotes.
I was gonna say that too.
Wow, thanks, Eric.
It's not technically space either, like you said.
It said email.
But yeah, this is a useful part. It's really small. It's what, like 3.5 inches long?
Yeah, it's about three and a half. Yeah, about 3.5 inches long. And I mean, I don't really know what they're going to use it for. I didn't get that far.
He has to print the heads as well because it doesn't come with one.
No, and I think it was, this looks like what, a 1/4-inch socket?
Yeah, we could go test it downstairs and try it.
Well, I think it's more just a proof of concept to say, hey, we could, like if we run out of a certain type of tool, hey, we can print a tool, like a functional tool.
I think it does work. I read about it. They said that it's 30 parts like that are supposed to move. I mean, it's one model, but I heard that it was 30 parts.
Yeah.
I mean, that could technically mean the heads as well.
So this is interesting. So before that could be sent up there, NASA had to approve the transmission of the object since it had not been physically launched from Earth.
That's kind of interesting.
Oh, just to approve the fact that, hey, this is going to be a thing that will be in space?
Yeah, they had to approve the transmission of an object that had, not been physically tested.
Because they knew that it was going to be printed off?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's interesting.
So, I mean, I'd love to be these astronauts, They get to work with the 3D printer all day.
Yeah, they've gone through a lot of training.
With the calcium deficiency, or the depreciation. I already have bad enough health.
Yeah.
Oh, so here, what happens with it next is the 4.48 inch long by 1.29. We were completely off. A ratchet will be returned to Earth for analyzing and testing.
Oh, so they print it and they're going to send it back.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that is going to be useful in space. If you need to print a whole ratchet set up there, and you're off on Mars, and your Craftsman breaks, and you can't get the warranty part for another 3 years, print it.
That's just. Oh, I guess you can't just go down to Sears and get this swapped out. Lifetime warranty.
No, you can't. Take a lifetime.
They're gonna have a space Sears.
Probably would help Kmart.
I'm sure
and
the
Sears.
first building in space is probably going to be a Walmart or McDonald's.
Yep.
It's going to be a Wendy's, just to prove you guys wrong, because they have better chicken nuggets.
Well, they do. I'm not arguing that. But all
I
right, I think that's kind of
everything
for this week.
That's kind of what we got for this week.
We want to talk a tiny bit about CES. I know we're
going
to
talk. We're going to talk
You guys
about
are
that.
going there next week?
We are. We leave, actually, a week from now.
So right now, this is being recorded Monday, the 29th of December.
So we leave on Monday, get down there, we get to hang out with MakerBot, 3D Systems, LulzBot, a bunch of other people. We get to see a bunch of cool stuff down there.
And we'll talk a little bit more next week. Yeah. So I guess by the time you listen to next week's podcast, CES will have already been over, or will already be over.
Back.
But when we're recording it, it'll be on the day that we're leaving for CES. So we're going to talk about everything that we're going to try and see, and then about a week after CES is over, then we'll talk about everything that we saw at CES.
And you guys are going to take a lot of videos and pictures that I can play with. So.
Well, right, exactly. Well, I mean, that's one of the big reasons we're going to CES. I mean, like last year, for example, there was a lot of cool 3D printing stuff that was announced, but a lot of the tech blogs and tech press just didn't cover
miserably.
Well, I mean, it's like 3D Systems, for example. They were coming out with a food printer, and there's maybe only one or two good videos of interviews talking about the food printer. There's no good shots of the printer itself, only the finished part. And I mean, maybe that's by design. I'm sure the 3D Systems PR people didn't want people looking too closely. But, I mean, we sell printers. There's no getting around that we sell printers. I'd like to know what we're going to be selling and talk to the people and find out, oh, hey, you're saying it's going to be out Q1. Do you really mean Q3?
or Q1
of
2
the
years?
following year?
I mean, because it's been a whole year since the Chef Jet and Sarah Jet.
Has there been anything at all?
Nothing.
Nothing. No,
I don't.
no
well,
press
the,
release.
There hasn't been any announcement on for both the Chef Jet, the Cube Jet, and the Sarah Jet. There hasn't been
the
anything.
Cube Jet was supposed to be released.
There hasn't been anything since CES last year.
Didn't they have like 5 new printers come out at
Oh, yeah.
Euromold or something?
Well, yeah, but those were the big machines.
Yeah.
and those will.
I'm
come
just
out.
I'm just saying that they had all that going on, and then they didn't say anything about. I mean, they might have been busy with that, but
I mean,
they should at least say, "Hey, we're running into some issues, or we have some delays, or that other stuff took our time up."
well, I mean, I don't know.
They're
I
more
know,
like a weird
I know
one
the
that's
Gen
not that
3,
useful.
or not the Gen 3.
The Cube 3?
Cube 3.
We still haven't gotten ours.
No, we still haven't gotten ours. And
And they were supposed to be out, well, what was
before
it, June?
September.
Yeah, well, June or July, because we were going to have it at a trade show, and it's like, oh, yeah, it was supposed to be, we were saying that, they're going to be shipping in another couple of weeks.
It's almost 6 months.
Well,
couple
right.
weeks, couple weeks.
Well,
couple weeks,
3D Systems has some they set very aggressive timelines for themselves. And
But
they
and
could
what
do a
they
better job of meeting
do
them.
a really good job of is, hey, if we're not ready to release this, if this isn't ready, we're gonna pull it back and wait.
Well,
they
right.
don't release a half baked.
They should say something though.
No, they're gonna surprise you, Eric. They're gonna come out of the woodwork. Just like, I got a printer for you.
There's that Sarah Jet. I know it's 2017, but
It's here.
Here
We
it
told
is.
you we were coming.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that wraps it up for this week.
I can't think of anything else to
So,
say.
on behalf of Jake, Eric, and myself, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to us in iTunes. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. We're also on Pinterest and Instagram.
And we got
Yeah.
video back. So
Yes.
I think it was Jorge's. I'm not sure on the pronunciation, but he commented, so the video's back. And this will be up Friday, I guess, which
Yeah.
is now if you're watching it.
Yeah.
Let us know if you want us to cover anything specific. I know we'll be covering some very interesting topics coming forward. So
Yeah.
after CES. So
All right, well, yeah, thanks for watching and listening.
see you later.
3D print, yeah, God, 3D printing pens, I could.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about, and you just pour your heart out and how much you hate them, because I'm going to pour my
See,
heart
I
out.
don't hate them. They're just awful. There's a difference between hating something and it being empirically bad. Like, just bad.